Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to one and all, graduates and guests, families and friends. Today is a day of celebration, a rite of passage. My name is Peter Dewick, and I am the Director of Admissions and Registrar here at Royal Roads University. The university acknowledges that the campus is located on the traditional lands of the Kosopsum, or Esquimalt, and Lekwungen, or Songhees, ancestors and families who have lived here for thousands of years. This land has been part of the fabric of the life of Indigenous communities long before Hatley Castle was built, and it will be long into the future. It is with gratitude that we now learn and work here, where the past, present, and future of Indigenous and non-Indigenous students, faculty, and staff come together. Those of us who work in my office are lucky. We were there at the beginning of your journey at Royal Roads, listening as many of you expressed doubts about your readiness to embark on this academic path, and watching as you gathered the determination to make it happen. Then we were there again, paying careful attention as you completed every step on the road, recording your every success. And now it's our pleasure to join you as you celebrate this accomplishment. What you have achieved is nothing short of amazing. Many of you have been balancing the demands of your educational experience alongside family responsibilities and career obligations, and that's never easy. The time has come to sit back, take a deep breath, and enjoy each moment as we celebrate you and the work you've now finished. Today marks the 43rd Convocation for Royal Roads University. We are so pleased you've all been able to join us. Today is your celebration. Together we look back with pride at what you've accomplished in this phase of your academic studies, and just as importantly, we look ahead with hope, knowing you have plans to use your newly enriched potential to create positive change in the world around us. Before we begin, I have a few points to share with you. First, on your way into the theater, you should have received a convocation program. This includes the order of this morning's ceremony and the names of this spring's graduates. Second, in just a few moments, you will hear the strains of bagpipes announcing the procession of the academic platform party. I will ask you to rise just before the piper enters the theater. Meanwhile, please ensure all cell phones and other electronic devices are turned off for the duration of the ceremony. And also, we ask that you remain at your seats for the duration of the proceedings. Please do not block the aisles, as our graduates will be using these to access the stage. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remain at your seats for the procession of the academic platform party. Please join in the singing of our Canadian national anthem, led by Ms. Andrea Paddock.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you, Andrea. I'm now pleased to invite Hereditary Chief Edward Sinupin from the Esquimalt Nation and Asmanahai Antoine from the Nuchalnuth Toquat Nation, who is our Indigenous Education and Student Services Manager, to provide us with a welcome to the ancestral lands to begin our ceremony.
Siemna Siea, Siemna Stelichet, Hashka Gwanzan Tetchel, Squelta Tunguch, I Husapsum, I Lakongan Eltanguch. Hashka the Heatwas, Hashka the Siems, Hashka the Saleluchs, Hashka the Stelichets. Atia Anuk. Nahimet Sinupin, Nisne Edward Thomas, Jalatasin I Husapsum Shwimetlil El Telnguch. I just want to thank everyone for coming here today to our land of the Esquimalt and Songhees people, the Lekwungen speaking people. On behalf of myself, Hereditary Chief Sinupin Edward Thomas, and my Shwakwa cousin, Chief Ron Sam of the Songhees Nation, really want to thank you for coming here to our land of the Esquimalt and Songhees people today to celebrate a great event for the ones that are graduating here today. As in the Lekwungen language, we don't have a word for welcome. The way we do it is we thank you. Thank each and every one of you, youngest to the oldest, for coming into our home, being a visitor, sharing and celebrating today. So my hands go up to you in a kind gesture, thanking you for coming here today. Haichka, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. The clicko, 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 clicko. I wanted to share a few words today. Chief Thomas, your Hereditary Chief Thomas, father, Hereditary Chief Andy Thomas, last few words he said to me as we were leaving a meeting, and he looked at me and he said, "Don't quit. Don't quit." And I'm really grateful, and I get up every day and I think of those words, don't quit. Continue to do what I would love to do, and that is working here at Royal Roads University. And I want to thank all of my Royal Roads University family. My name is Asmanahai. Asmanahai means caring for precious ones. It comes from my late mother, Vera Thompson's family of Toquot Nation of New Channel lands. My last name, Antoine, comes from my late father, Eugene Antoine, from Carrier-Sicani lands from Saikas Nation. I've been residing in Lekwungen and Kosopson lands now for 22 years, and I am my home away from home, my family away from my family. And I'm very honored to be here. I just want to share one more story. For those who are holding a feather on stage, can you raise them up? I want to share a story. We harvested these eagle feathers down at Snuckle Ale in the Blue Heron House at Railroads University. The Board of Governors, as well as executive members, were part of a ceremony along with me and my family, and we harvested these feathers as a gift back to our Indigenous students, and as well as to some community members. And that is just a reminder to keep us connected, reminder of why we do the things we do, from the youngest to our oldest, and remembering our past, present, and future. And I'm very grateful for the Railroads University family for just jumping in and really participating as a small sign of reconciliation. Kleko, kleko. Congratulations to all you graduates. I'm really proud of all of you. Haichikasiam.
You may be seated. We are grateful to Chief Sinupin and Asmanahai for joining us today, and we thank them very much. It's now my pleasure to introduce our academic platform party, and I'll ask each of them to rise briefly as I call out their names. Ladies and gentlemen, the Chancellor of Royal Roads University and Chair of the University's Board of Governors, Ms. Kathleen Burney. The President and Vice Chancellor, Dr. Alan Cahoon. The honorary degree recipient, Dr. Nina Chappell. The Chancellor's Community Recognition Award recipient, Mr. Barge DeHaan. The Vice President, Academic and Provost, Dr. Steve Grundy. The Vice President, Communications and Advancement, Ms. Catherine Harold. The Vice President, Global Marketing and Business Development, Dr. Pedro Marquez. The Vice Provost, Research and Interdisciplinary Studies, Dr. Matthew Heinz. The Associate Vice President, Student and Academic Services, Ms. Roberta Mason. The Dean of the Faculty of Management, Dr. William Holmes. And the following members of our Board of Governors, Ms. Maria Anderson, Ms. Elizabeth Bicknell, Ms. Cindy Brar, Mr. Nelson Chan, Vice Admiral retired Bruce Donaldson, Ms. Lydia Huitzum, Ms. Laurie Simcox, Mr. Bernard Slaney, and Dr. Jennifer Walinga. We also have with us today members of the university's faculty, and I ask them all now to rise and be recognized.
Ladies and gentlemen, our wonderful graduates, and all of your friends and family who have come out to support you today. I have been reflecting on some of the challenges that you may face after your graduation, and I'd like to touch on two of them today and offer a couple of suggestions that you might want to keep in mind. The first challenge is how to thrive in the face of emerging technologies, and the second is how to collaboratively problem solve in a world of increasing social divisiveness. A few of the emerging technologies that are around today have the potential to transform our world. And one of the keys to your success from now right through to your retirement will be to try to anticipate which of those emerging technologies will prove transformative and how you can best adapt to them. One of those technologies is blockchain. Another one is artificial intelligence. Last month, I was reading that at the Canadian National Science Fair in Ottawa, there was a high school student who invented a small-scale car that taught itself to drive. So that's an example of artificial intelligence, and I find it unbelievable that it was invented by a high school student. I think he was about 16. Human augmentation is another emerging technology. We live in an environment that's increasingly wired, sensor-filled, and digitally connected, and so are we. We've gone far beyond pacemakers and smartphones. Now we have smart contact lenses. They're on the near horizon. Bionic eyes, microchips that will be implanted in people. 3D printing, it's already revolutionizing inventory and supply chain systems and other aspects of business, and maybe it will revolutionize healthcare. We have smart drugs, which, especially when they're coupled with artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, genomic sequencing, hold the promise of providing us with personalized medicine that is truly effective. Brain-computer interfaces, there's the ultimate human-machine interrelationship. Mark Zuckerberg, founder of Facebook, famously proclaimed in 2015 that in the future, and I'm paraphrasing here, he said, "You're going to be able to capture a thought or a feeling in its ideal and perfect form in your head, and then share it with the world in a format the world can understand." So in other words, what he foresees is perfect communication of feelings and ideas without language, cultural, technical, or other barriers. Another emerging technology is machine-machine interaction, or the Internet of Things. Emerging technologies are nothing new. We've been dealing with those for at least the last 100 years, but what is new is the fast pace of change, and I think this will have a profound effect on the economy of the future. In the World Economic Forum in Davos last year, one of the speakers came up with the statistic that 65% of kids in elementary school today will eventually have jobs that don't exist today. And this has implications for you graduates because it means that the job that you will retire from may not yet exist. It follows that people need to be educated for an economy that does not exist today. And we should be asking ourselves how to do that and what are the best strategies for success. Consider a few additional ways that emerging technologies are changing the world. We are increasingly interconnected and interdependent. This has raised engagement with stakeholders and made us think about how information is accessed, consumed, protected, and misused. The result of those concerns in Europe has been the EU's new General Data Protection Regulation, and you're all aware of that because all of your apps and your devices have been throwing up pop-up boxes as international organizations try to bring themselves into compliance. All of these concerns are captured in what I think may be the truism of the decade, which is that machines can be programmed to do the next thing right, but only humans can figure out what the next right thing is. Other challenges from emerging technologies. Technology has made the world transparent. Everyone knows everything now. or if they don't know it, they can find out. Everyone can find out whether Joe Fresh clothing sold in Canada was made in an unsafe sweatshop in Bangladesh. Everyone can find out the spill safety record of the Kinder Morgan Pipeline Company. These are just two examples, but they abound in the media. New ways of communicating are needed, and a higher level of accountability is going to be demanded of you, along with an elevated approach to leadership and a deeper focus on trust and human connections. It's somewhat ironic, I think, that as these new technologies emerge, they highlight more and more the importance of human connection, human skills, human aptitudes. Apart from the challenges of emerging technologies, we have the issue of collaborative problem solving in the midst of increasing social divisiveness. The problems today are tough and they're complicated. They will only be solved through collaboration. We're connected to each other faster and more easily than ever, but there are still tensions that can divide us. There are many examples of this in the media, two of which are Brexit and the divided states of America under President Trump. After the last election south of the border, some scientists at the MIT Media Lab decided to map connections on social media. And they looked at the results and described the online world as one balkanized by ideology and issue interest, with little potential for information flow between the online cocoons. How are you going to thrive in your career in the face of this divisiveness? I humbly offer some suggestions for your consideration. They are not standalone solutions. The lines between them are blurry. The first is lifelong learning. You need to recognize that automation will end jobs, but it will not end work. The questions of which jobs can be automated, how, to what extent, and how will that change the way you work? Those questions need to be answered by innovative thinking and continuous learning so that you can keep abreast of technological changes and even spot emerging technologies on the far horizon. Soft skills. Every year we hear that employers are looking for problem solvers, people with creative skills, people with high emotional intelligence. And we've tried to instill some of those in you at Royal Roads. You need to be a good communicator, but not only in your human-human interactions. You need to become a good communicator in the human and machine interactions. These soft skills are the hardest skills to find, but the most necessary ones if you are going to build organizations that will endure. You also need reimagined leadership and more and better collaboration. I suggest you need leadership that gives and receives feedback, that collaborates widely to tackle change, not just collaborating among your peers, but collaborating across other disciplines and with people that you perhaps don't feel all that comfortable with, people who aren't like you. You need to leverage decentralized decision-making, foster a sense of inclusiveness, and develop meaningful relationships with other people. You need to recognize that the solitary genius is a myth. If it was ever true, it isn't true now. It hasn't been true for a long time. In an era of ever-increasing technological change, working together is the best way to move forward, and perhaps the only way forward. The exchange of ideas can be a uniting force, and we see examples of that every day with people collectively using social media platforms to support people in need, shine a light on injustice, and try to improve the world. When I was a new graduate the motto that people told me was that chance favors the prepared mind. But I think today the better motto might be that chance favors the connected mind. In an era characterized by emerging technology and social divisiveness and uncertainty, you need to create environments where people can collaborate and big ideas can coalesce. The last suggestion I have for you is to improve your trust building and constantly work on it. As we become more interconnected and interdependent, building trust is more important than ever. And lack of trust creates risk. Don't believe me that lack of trust creates risk? Think about President Trump's recent announcement that the US is pulling out of the Iran nuclear accord, a deal that the Americans worked very hard to get and have had in place for just 3 years, a deal where the negotiations were supported by multiple Western countries imposing embargoes that had tragic consequences on Iran. President Trump's announcement came just before he flew to Singapore to seek a nuclear non-proliferation agreement of some kind with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Ask yourself whether North Korea is more or less likely to trust in an agreement that they may make with the Americans as a result of their negotiations, and whether the American pullout of the Iran nuclear accord decreases or increases the nuclear risk to the world. Trust and success go hand in hand today, but getting and keeping trust is harder in the digital era. Whatever organization you work for, it must establish a strong purpose that must be reflected in its values, culture, and behavior. I hope you will reflect on these challenges and suggested solutions when you go back to your workplaces. Congratulations on attaining your degrees, and I wish you happiness, prosperity, and every success in all of your endeavors.
Good morning, everyone. How are we doing? This is a fun and exciting time to be able to recognize achievement and accomplishment and a bridge to where we're going from here. So, excuse if we have some kind of parting advice to give you along the way. First of all, let me recognize and thank Hereditary Chief Thomas for his welcome to his territory, and Asma Nahai Antoine, our co-Salish, our manager of Indigenous education. You know, it is a privilege to live and work on these traditional lands of the Lekwungen and the Kosamson people, and we acknowledge that history and that privilege every time we have the opportunity to do so at Royal Roads. It is a special place, and it provides the environment in which the kind of learning that you celebrate today, family, friends, and graduates, is a reflection of the place that occurred in as well. 23 years ago, the founders of Royal Roads University had a vision to connect people, ideas, experiences, and cultures to change lives and to change the world. They wanted to build something entirely new on the educational landscape. They wanted to create an accessible learning environment where interdisciplinary innovation would flourish. And they invited you to work with them in order to create that through your studies, through your interest, and through your contribution. And at Convocation, we celebrate that achievement. We also celebrate how the vision, the university's vision, and your vision for the future come together. From the time you wrote your application to attend Royal Roads University, to your late nights in residency, to this moment, your vision and your achievements have become part of the fabric of the university. Your entire journey and what you do next are essential to the idea we call Royal Roads University. While you were on your path of personal and academic learning, we learned from you, and we were inspired by you. Today, we are proud to recognize your achievements and to confirm credentials on more than 800 graduates in the Faculty of Management, the Faculty of Social and Applied Sciences, and the College of Interdisciplinary Studies. Convocation marks a time for all of us to reflect on the path, the journey that we're part of. In the early days, Royal Roads clearly had something to prove. We set out to show how a transformative education can happen right at home and at the right time for students in their personal and professional lives, that the learner and the institution had to work together to create the appropriate learning that constituted study at Royal Roads. We wanted to open the doors of education to courageous people with the potential to make positive changes in their own lives, but also broader in their communities. We wanted to create an inclusive environment that not only accepts, but embraces students' life's experiences as part of the basis or the platform for their learning. In order to do this, we had to dismantle some of the tradition-bound structures of privilege in the academy that benefit few and exclude many. We had to challenge some premises about what graduate or what university education was about. We pioneered the blended learning model of post-secondary education in Canada. We showed that the impact of accessible, collaborative learning and applied research, the value that had. We confirmed and reinforced Royal Roads' value as a different kind of university, more relevant to the world we live in, more responsive to the needs of our learners. Now that upstart energy of a young organization has changed. Over the past 23 years, it has transformed into the kind of confidence and maturity that comes from hard-earned, hard-won success. And I imagine you feel a little bit like that now. When you look back on the journey that brought you here today, what did you have to prove? What was it that motivated you to work so hard? What was your vision? It is the same today, or have your goalposts moved just a little further ahead? At Royal Roads, we frequently look to the original vision of the university and ask ourselves, are we there yet? What more can we do to create the inclusive learning environment that we were aiming for in the beginning? We continue to learn to listen more intentionally to what our Indigenous community members and partners have to say. And we strive to foster the best possible environment for personal and systemic reconciliation to flourish. We're putting into action in a number of ways, including our partnership with the First Nations Technology Council and also the Kitsla First Nations to deliver programs right in Indigenous students' home communities. Just 2 weeks ago, we signed an historic agreement with the Songhees Nation related to the Royal Roads property, which may become part of the Songhees future treaty settlement lands. And at Royal Roads, we take our diversity statement to heart, yet we acknowledge we have a ways to go. Do women advance as fast as men in our organizations? Do members of the LGBT community and racialized faculty, staff, and students feel safe, included, and equal on campus? It's an important journey we're on. We have not fully arrived at an inclusive place. We're on the journey. We understand that diversity means inviting people to the party or the conference or the meeting. It's the first step. Inclusion is asking them to dance or asking them to participate. And equality is recognizing it's also their party. It's also their meeting. We know education is personally transformative. Every one of us has an experience or witnessed the power of education to change individual lives, in our own, in the people around us. Education is empowerment. And that begins with discovering not only who we are, but who we could become when we are free to explore our potential, free from discrimination. Lifelong learning creates new ideas, creates critical thinkers, creates change makers, and is the #1 enemy of bigotry, xenophobia, and the antidote to inequality. We learn from recognizing and accepting different views, different perspectives, valuing different experiences and practices. We learn from moving outside of our comfort zone. And I get concerned, as the Chancellor talked about today, how the pressure is the opposite, how we must conform to a dogmatic interpretation of life. That's not education. From my point of view, universities have a critical role to support equality, diversity, and inclusion in our lives, in our institutions, in our communities, and in our nations. I think we owe it to the public that supports our colleges and universities to do more than just talk about it, or worse, just to be silent. As proponents of critical thinking, we need to turn the lens back to our own organizations, our own lives, and ask ourselves, what can we do better? It's more than rhetoric, more than just words. It's what we need to do. Recent events on the global stage remind us of the need for motivated people who care and know how to put ideas into action more than ever before. So the proof of Royal Road's vision is what you do. And we look to you to take your learning further. Tap into your original vision and the motivation that kept you going as you earned your credentials. Act on that vision. The world needs you. Thank you. Haichika.
It's time now for us to hear greetings from the Government of British Columbia. The Honorable Melanie Mark, Minister of Advanced Education, Skills and Training, sends her regrets and asks me to pass along the following message. Dear friends, it is my pleasure to extend a warm welcome to everyone here today. I wish I could be with you in person to celebrate your graduation. It is important to acknowledge that the 43rd Convocation ceremony is taking place on the territory of the Lekwungen-speaking peoples, the Songhees, and Esquimalt nations. I would like to give a big shout out to all of the graduates today. You did it. All of you have worked incredibly hard and made incredible sacrifices to graduate. You should be very proud of your accomplishments. The experiences and personal growth during your studies will last a lifetime. Family, friends, and colleagues have supported many of you on your educational pathway. I know firsthand what it takes to accomplish academic goals while balancing competing priorities such as work and family. Congratulations to all of the graduates for achieving this incredible milestone, and I wish you every success wherever your career takes you. Keep reaching for the stars. Sincerely, the Honorable Melanie Mark, Minister of Advanced Education, Skills and Training.
It's my pleasure now to announce the Chancellor's Community Recognition Award recipient. The Royal Roads University Chancellor's Community Recognition Award was created in 1998 to recognize the efforts of individuals and organizations whose actions or service has made a contribution to their community and to humanity. In addition to the award that they will receive, the recipient's name is inscribed on a plaque which is kept on display at the Royal Roads University in the castle. It is my pleasure to introduce this year's recipient, Mr. Barge DeHaan. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the reasons that Barge DeHaan is receiving this award today. I can tell you I could go on for probably 2 hours listing his accomplishments, but I'm only going to spend about 5 minutes doing it today just to give you the flavor. Barge DeHaan is a social entrepreneur, visionary, and philanthropist who has made it his business to support inclusive social prosperity at home and abroad. Mr. DeHaan believes that business plays a fundamental role in creating economic and social prosperity for everyone. Through his work and charities, Mr. DeHaan has given countless hours and support to champion equality, education, and health care around the world, to name just a few of his interests. Today, we are honored to recognize Mr. DeHaan for his community-oriented approach to business and his philosophy for giving back and his deep commitment to reducing inequality. Mr. DeHaan stepped into the business world at age 22 when he leased his first gas station. Only 2 years later, he had launched his first venture that would later develop into the Sandhurst Group of companies that specializes in commercial real estate development, food services, and automotive convenience centers. The Sandhurst Group funds a bursary program for Metro Vancouver high school graduates. The award supports students who are active in their communities and dream of furthering their education, something Mr. DeHaan believes is at the root of building community and reducing disparity. 2 years ago, he created an entrance scholarship at the University of British Columbia for Indigenous students. The scholarship supports the brightest students who have no other means to support their academic goals. He believes reconciliation cannot be achieved without also addressing economic inequality. Mr. DeHaan's mission is to connect people from diverse backgrounds to build a more caring and inclusive community in Canada and in his birth country of India. He is the co-founder and director of the Canada-India Education Society, which supports education, community development, healthcare, and job creation in India. Through the society, he helped launch a collaborative nursing program between Canada and India, which has graduated more than 2,000 nurses. In 2013, Mr. DeHaan established the world's first Punjabi Prize for Literature, fiction. The prize aims to preserve and share Punjabi stories and history while inspiring emerging authors. It celebrates the transnational heritage of Punjabi language and literature while creating a unifying bridge between Punjabis who have been divided by country or religion. Another way Mr. DeHaan contributes to his community is with his time. He has served as a board member for numerous groups, including the Vancouver Police Board, the Canada-India Centre for Excellence at Carleton University, and is a former board member for the Royal Roads University, where he serves on the Fellows Council. For his contribution to reducing inequality in Canada and across borders, and his commitment to creating enduring prosperity through business and education, it is my great honor to present Barge DeHaan with the Chancellor's Community Recognition Award, which is on my left, up on that pedestal.
A very warm greeting. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Chancellor, President, faculty, board members, graduates, your family, the community here, for giving me this award. I truly feel honored and humbled. It's not about me. Today is all about the graduates. Congratulations to you all. It's a wonderful celebration of a journey that you have embarked on of learning. I am passionate about learning. I've been given many opportunities to learn, to go to school, to go to university, to learn through family and friends and colleagues and employees. And I have been blessed much. Canada has been good to me, good to my family. Vancouver Island is very special to me. My uncle, at the age of 13, came and made home in Port Alberni in 1933. I also lived on the island. Royal Roads University is equally special and dear to my heart. My son graduated from this university in an MBA program a few years ago. A nephew is graduating this fall. So this is a wonderful place, a great place to learn and grow. My upbringing is Sikh. The word literally means learn, to learn, be a learner, be a lifelong learner. In my Sikh tradition, not only is there learning that comes from the elders, learning that comes from ancient books and scriptures, but from friends, from one another, from the community at large. Books are also friends, and I've had many thousands of books as my friends. I would like to recommend 3 books to you, especially since this is graduation of students from the management faculty. A timeless book called The Richest Man in Babylon that was published in 1926 has timeless wisdom on basic principles of living well and enjoying prosperity. The other one is Jacob Needleman's book, Money and the Meaning of Life. And thirdly, Lynn Twist's book, The Soul of Money. In my Sikh tradition, it was impressed upon me that hard and honest work is central to living a successful life. In my other tradition, the tradition that I got married into, my wife's tradition, German Mennonites, Christians, it was living more with less. There is enough for everybody. Both traditions taught me that as an individual, I must be a good steward, an honest manager of all that I have been given, whether little or lots. In my business life, there are 2 fundamental principles of management, of being a good manager, of running a good business. One of them is accounting. Account for everything. Keep a record. And second is put together, build a cash reserve, a rainy day fund. Someday, events may be out of your control that will put everything at risk. So you need that saved fund to carry you through difficult days. Nanak was a young boy living in northern India and Punjab. He was born in 1469. When he was a teenager, his father sent him to the father's little village grocery store. And he said, look after the store over the weekend. And when customers would come to buy wheat or rice or salt, he had a measuring unit. And every time he measured, he was counting 1, 2, 3. And then when he would come to number 13, he would keep repeating while he's still serving, 13, 13, 13. The word 13 means, in Punjabi, it's tera. But if you inflex it in a different way, it means yours. Nanak was a boy who was in love with the divine, in love with humanity, and he would stop and just keep repeating that. I had one of the most joyful moments in my life was spending few minutes alone with Mother Teresa in Calcutta. She kept no cash reserve for her enterprise. Both Nanak and Mother Teresa, by the world's standards of management, how to be a good manager, they would be considered failures. But they weren't. Nanak came to be Guru Nanak, and the last 20 years of his life, he lived as a farmer, and he created a revolutionary movement that is to bring people together regularly, bringing whatever little food or portions they had and sitting down together to have a communal meal. So there was enough for everybody, and rich and poor came. And that is known as langar, the communal kitchen among the Sikhs. And today there are langars being served from New York to New Delhi, Victoria to Dublin, Abbotsford to Birmingham. Mother Teresa, she ran more than 400 centers around the world in 102 countries, but never had a cash reserve. Both Nanak and Mother Teresa, their whole life was based on a couple of things. One was hard and honest work and being part of a community and sharing with the community. In fact, Mother Teresa used to say, work as though everything depends on it, but leave the rest to God. Both of them exemplified in their life a very important principle of sufficiency. The counter principle is of scarcity. Too many of us in our world operate, live, run our businesses from the standpoint of scarcity. There are scarce resources, there's shortage of money, there's shortage of this or that, and that leads us to live lives out of fear and covetousness and intense competition at the expense of others. Their principle was principle of sufficiency. There is enough in this universe for all. And that, I believe, is also the teachings of our Indigenous nations, and we need to honor and respect their traditions in that. So I want to just conclude with a short poem written by the only Nobel laureate in literature from India, Rabindranath Tagore. He says, I lived on the shady side of the road and watched my neighbors' gardens across the way, reveling in the sunshine. I felt I was poor, and from door to door went with my hunger. The more they gave me from their careless abundance, the more I became aware of my beggar's bowl. Till one morning I awoke from my sleep at the sudden opening of my door, and you came and asked for alms. In despair, I broke the lid of my chest open and was startled into finding my own wealth. When you live from a place of sufficiency, you will be genuine collaborators and co-creators and prosperity makers. Again, congratulations and blessings for a wonderful and successful future. Thank you.
That was a wonderful, inspiring speech from Barge Dehan. We are pleased today to confer the Honorary Doctor of Laws degree. Dr. Elizabeth Hartney, will you please present the honorary degree recipient, Dr. Nina Chappell.
Dr. Nina Chappell is a respected researcher who built the foundation for the study of aging in Canada. During her career of more than 30 years, she has focused on better understanding the needs and abilities of older adults, their families, and caregivers. Dr. Chappell has shaped the discipline of gerontology as a founder of the field and is widely recognized as an international leader to those studying the sociology of aging. Her research focuses on issues such as caregiving, healthy aging, and dementia care, as well as health and social policy. Her work debunked the myth that most seniors are frail and revealed the strength and independence older adults can enjoy through active social networks. She was inspired to study older people out of admiration for her paternal grandfather. He stood up against racism in both the Canadian government and his own family when his daughter-in-law, Dr. Chappell's mother, came to Canada from China as a bride. He welcomed her, even as the rest of the family shunned her, and he helped her gain Canadian citizenship, despite xenophobic laws and officials. His example showed Dr. Chappell the wisdom and strength older people can possess. She completed her Bachelor of Sociology at Carleton University and then earned a Master of Sociology and her PhD in the same field from McMaster University. When she was a student, gerontology did not exist as a discipline. The field has evolved due to the work of founding scholars like Dr. Chappell. In fact, she has mentored many contemporary experts in gerontology herself. She first created a center on aging at the University of Manitoba in 1982, and then a second at the University of Victoria in 1992. She was a professor at UVic for more than 25 years until her retirement this year. She is now Professor Emeritus. Dr. Chappell lectures internationally and has served on a number of advisory boards and as an expert advisor to governments. She has authored, co-authored, or edited 11 books. We are delighted to add Dr. Chappell's numerous awards and accolades, which include the David H. Turpin Gold Medal for Career Achievement in Research from the University of Victoria, the Queen Elizabeth II Diamond Jubilee Medal, an induction into the Canadian Academy of Health Sciences. Dr. Chappell is a member of the Order of Canada. For her founding contributions to the study of aging and her commitment to improving the quality of life of seniors, their caregivers, and families, it is my honor to present Dr. Nina Chappell for the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Dr. Chappell. Pardon me.
Chappell.
Oh, it's Chappell. Okay,
Yes,
thank
it
you.
is.
Dr. Chappell, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Royal Roads University Act and in accordance with the recommendation of the Board of Governors of Royal Roads University, I confer upon you the Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, with all the rights, privileges, and honors here and elsewhere thereto appertaining. Dr. Chappell will now be hooded by Dr. Steve Grundy, Vice President of Academic and Provost. Dr. Alan Cahoon will now present Dr. Chappell with her degree.
We want to make sure you have this.
It is with pleasure that I now call on Dr. Chappell to deliver the convocation address. Dr. Chappell.
Chancellor Kathleen Burney, President and Vice Chancellor Alan Cahoon, Barj Dahan, members of the Board of Governors, family, friends, faculty, and most importantly, graduates, good morning. It is my honor to be here this morning. However, such recognitions are not and should not be the reason for what we do, for how we live our lives. They are a lovely bonus, though, and I do thank you. We have a saying in gerontology, it's not the quantity of our lives that matter, it's the quality of those lives. And a key to a quality life is engagement in what we do. Lucius Annaeus Seneca said, life is like a play, is not the length, but the excellence of the acting that matters. You graduates here today already demonstrate engagement through your enrollment in Royal Roads University later in your journey. You are living the much preached mantra of lifelong learning, whether to further a path you've already begun or to pursue a new path. What matters is that you are engaged. You are still growing, still learning, not just formally, but experientially. You also evidence a much needed skill in these times, that of multitasking. Many, if not all of you, are working, studying, involved in active family lives, not to mention other types of activities. To accomplish what you have accomplished, you must have perseverance, a key, I would argue, to accomplishment. Newt Gingrich said, and I really like this quote, but it does not mean I like his politics. Perseverance is the hard work you do after you get tired of doing the hard work you already did. Perseverance matters because we do not and will not accomplish everything we set out to do. Adversity is part of life. It is common these days to talk of failure as good, or at least having its upsides. It teaches us humility. It tells us who we are. We discover who our real friends are. What matters is not that you fall, but that you get up. It's character building, to which I always say, I have enough character, thank you very much. You've heard it all before, and it's largely true. The point is that adversity should not stop us. It should not defeat us. We should persevere, and we should learn through the experience. I have used the word accomplishment. I could have used success. But I don't mean success necessarily in an economic sense. Despite the fact that our capitalist society so often measures success monetarily, we know that for the vast majority of us, happiness, not money, is our ultimate goal. Easterlin demonstrated years ago that despite economic growth and rising incomes over 50 years in the US during the last century, people's happiness did not rise. Others, such as Knight and Rosa, have shown this in many countries around the world. Beyond a certain level, more money does not bring more happiness. One can excel in many arenas, some of which will bring monetary reward, many will not. The person who excels at parenting or friendship, for example, is to be commended. Which brings me to values. Especially in these times of fake news, alternative facts, and get ahead at all costs. Your values define who you are as a person, and they influence the choices you make in life. Many have asked why I chose gerontology, the study of aging, especially back in the 70s when it was not an established area of research in its own right. As mentioned in the introduction, and I'm going to elaborate a little bit on that, I thought there was much to learn from older adults, influenced largely by my paternal grandfather, a man of great integrity and humanity. When my Caucasian father fell in love with and married a Chinese woman from mainland China who was studying at the University of Toronto during the Second World War, the Canadian government would not grant her citizenship. My father, a good rebel in his own right, wrote the Chinese government requesting that he become a Chinese citizen because he believed both of them should be citizens of the country they lived in. You can imagine the shock of the officials who read his letter, most likely laughter. They replied that they did not have a policy during the war on Canadians becoming Chinese citizens, so they would reciprocate Canada's policy and reject his request. Jamaica would grant citizenship to both a Canadian and a Chinese, so they prepared to move. In fact, their bags were packed. In the middle of the night, just prior to the morning they were to leave, a messenger arrived with my mother's citizenship papers signed by Prime Minister Mackenzie King. My paternal grandfather, he was the country's lumber baron of the day and personal friend to the Prime Minister, called on the Prime Minister to intervene despite the fact that he did not believe and very seldom used his influence to ask for favors. My father's mother and siblings disowned him, his wife, and his children. My grandfather had Sunday dinner with us once a month, demonstrating his values. The name is Chapel, and for any of you who follow the Curse of Oak Island on the History Channel, the chapel shaft, that was my grandfather and great-grandfather's. I have, in the intervening years, met many older adults who did not display my grandfather's integrity, I'm sorry to say. I met many who did. But his influence on my life and my choices endures. And I happened upon a career that allowed me to give voice to older adults and fight for change for the better. That is not to say that I always, or even most of the time, won those fights. I'm sure I lost more than I won. But the point is that others influence us. We influence others in ways in which we're often not aware. It matters who we are. It matters who we treat others. It matters whether we have compassion and understanding for others and for ourselves. Be kind to yourself. None of us is perfect. And in our capitalist society, it is good business to treat others with fairness and kindness. So you're a good person and you persevere. Does this give you a quality of life? I would suggest that engagement is also necessary. Some express it as pursuing excellence or always striving to do your best. Some refer to passion, some to imagination, some to curiosity. Albert Einstein said, "I have no special talents. I am only passionately curious." He also said the true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination. For me, it's about being completely absorbed in whatever. With that absorption, commitment to turning all of one's cognition and senses to the task, the problem, the idea, you will find you are curious, you are imaginative, you are striving for excellence. You are very much alive. Although you graduates have already demonstrated your engagement in life, and you are in some ways along life's journey, you have far to go. Today's generation of older adults are the first time in history that everyone can expect to live to old age, barring wars and accidents. That is, you can all expect to live well into old age. Despite the long-promoted image of our later years as a time of rest and doing nothing, how boring, a new vision is emerging of the later years as a time of continual growth. Remaining inquisitive, remaining engaged is one of the keys to a good old age. Before I conclude, a couple of practical tips. I suggest you focus. Henry Friesen, he for a long time was the president of the Medical Research Council of Canada. He used to always say, if you don't know where you're going, any path will take you there. So know where you're going, have a focus, and learn to switch mentally quickly, switch on a dime. I can't tell you the colleagues I have, the people I've met who will say, well, it's only 2 hours before I go home, I don't really have time to get into this. Learn to switch your head, and you will be amazed at how much you can accomplish. In conclusion, be kind to others. Be kind to yourself. Persevere when the going gets tough, and be engaged. Congratulations, class of 2018.
Could I now ask the graduates to please rise for presentation to the Chancellor? Chancellor, I present to you this graduating class of Royal Roads University, on whom you have conferred the degrees, certificates, and diplomas to which they are entitled.
Thank you, Dr. Grundy. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Governors and on the recommendation of the Academic Council of the University, I have admitted each of you to the credential to which you are entitled. I have invested you with all due rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining. May you always be mindful of the motto of this university, living our learning.
Thank you. Please be seated. Chancellor and members of the Board of Governors, we will now present the graduates from their respective programs. We would also like to acknowledge those graduates watching from afar. I would like to introduce Dr. William Holmes to present the graduates from the Faculty of Management.
Thank you, Dr. Grundy. I am honored to present to you today graduates from our Master of Arts in Tourism Management program. Eva Adamkova, the Royal Roads University Entrance Award. Jason Christopher Alsop. Corey Edward Anderson, Royal Roads University Founders Award. Akash Apurva. Yihan Bai. Mona Baichu. Heather Ann Lewin. Teresa Merritt Conkin, the RBC Community Integrated Learning Grant. Jillian Amanda Dixon. Jeannie Indrawati. Mona Lisa James. Xian Kang. Yingqi Lai. Paula Cheryl Jill Lewis, the RBC Community Integrated Learning Grant, and the Royal Roads University Chancellor's Award. Robin Page Potter, Royal Roads University Founders Award. Congratulations. Yan Rong. Congratulations. Charlene Marcia Thomas. Scott Kilabe Turek. Dorothy Bridget Ward. Thomas William Wood. Charan Zhang. Our Master of Business Administration program has been offered throughout Asia since 1999 through our educational partners. We would like to thank graduates who are able to attend today's ceremony. I am honored to present to you today graduates from our Master of Business Administration Executive Management Program. Darcy Kathleen Chattel. Amy Louise Elgersma. Trisha Camille Goulet. Mark Daniel Jones. Wirasing Arachige Achira Lakmal. Bridget Mearns. Scarlett Olivia Mulbauer. Christopher William Gregory Wallace. Aisha Siddiqa. Mohammed Mojibur Rahman. Yu Jen Ho. Hui Hua Lin. Yu Ling Sun. Xu Fang Tang. Ming Chang Tsai. Ping Chung Yang. Yin Fang Tai. Shun She Wang. Ying Rue Ho. Hung Chang Huang. Yu Lan Lin. Chume Tsai. Shu O Chu. Chen Hua Fu. Yang Yu Chang. Ling Hua Shu. Chi Hung Chen. I am honored to present to you today graduates from our Master of Business Administration, International Business, Asia Pacific Trade and Investment Program. Jennifer Nicole Cummings. I am honored to present to you today graduates from our Master of Business Administration, International Business and Innovation Europe program. Cheryl J. Buick. Leon Chang, the Irving K. Barber One World Scholarship. Nicole Lucille Dedaluk, the Laura Vidalis Scholarship. Ludmila Diachnia. Peter Kennedy Fenton. Susan Ray Gongal. Dion Michelle O'Gorman. Olivia Daniela Pavel. Shauna May Warwick. Congratulations. Lisa Bernice Williamson. I'm honored to present to you today graduates from our Master of Business Administration Executive Management Leadership program. Colin Jacqueline Andrews. Michael Robert Benson. Christine Louise Eastgard, Royal Roads University Founders Award. Michael Ernest Johi. Carla Ivy Kokan. Suzanne Lynn Lebeau. Mamo Jarso Midegdu. Jenna Ray Moore. I'm honored to present to you today graduates from our Master of Business Administration Executive Management Consulting program. Jaswinder Bamra, Chartered Professional Accountants Education Foundation Award, MBA 2000 Award. Tyson Kane Birkenstock. Jeffrey Frederick Brothers. Jovina Maria Ilona Burns. Kevin Curtis Chanute. Jeffrey Allen Davis. Kyle Edward Derrick. Jeffrey Peter Paul Furman. Angela Kay. Sean Patrick Leggett. Courtney Ann Mosley. Belinda Penganaban. Peter Henry Pastuszak. Sonia Gloria Rizzo. Cheryl Ann Stewart. Cheryl Nancy Elizabeth Walker. Nolan Bradley Walker. Li Zhang. I'm honored today to present to you graduates from our Master of Global Management program. Genuyu Alani Alabi. Rilwan Dalapu Ali. Dan Kester Aliu. Mohammed Sohaib Arif. Dwayne William Atkinson, also graduate certificate in strategic global communications. Robert Benween. Ratan Hulambali Chandra Shekharaya. Chen Chen. Mohammed Abu Tala Chowdhury. Ryan Rasen de Cruz. Anupam Kunjbahari Dave. Gosi Kingsley Chooks. Andrea Lynn Erickson, also with the Graduate Certificate in Strategic Global Communication. Mwobo Rwani Enrube Dede. Charles Onyebuchi Eze Kwema. Joaquim Turhil Gay. David James Hood, Royal Roads University Chancellor's Award. Salima Chathani. Abhijit Philip Jose, RBC Community Integrated Learning Grant. Yugantar Chandmal Kumawat. Yvonne Lam, also with the Graduate Certificate in Strategic Global Communication. Lisan Lee. Felicia Sabrina Mark, also with the Graduate Certificate in Strategic Global Communications. Gisela Romina Martinez Durick. Evaristu Mupanguri, also with the Graduate Certificate in Project Management. Alexei Nestorenko. Murashimzo Grace Machukwa. John Lanre Oladele. Juliana Omotoyosi Oloroden. Jennifer Abayuma Osemwingi. Mushtaba Mustafa Pira. Praveen Raj Ponraj, also RBC Community Integrated Learning Grant and Royal Roads University Founders Award. Alexander Gordon Roth. Olalua Joshua Sani. Shauna Ruth Steed LeBlanc, Irving K. Barber One World Scholarship. Mohammed Suleiman My Tax Accelerate again, RBC Community Integrated Learning Grant. Dhirendra Tripathi. Mohammed Hikmat Abed Al-Fatah Yunus. Yang Zhang. Zihan Zhao. Samer Obedat. Peijun Yuan. Manuel Enrique Alvarado. Frida Kwan, RRU Entrance Award. Loris Shin. I'm honored to present to you today graduates from our Bachelor of Arts in International Hotel Management program. Zhanglei Deng. Lindsay Elizabeth Henderson, President's Scholar Award. Daria Nikolankova, President's Scholar Award. Heimeng Wang. Min Hai Nguyen. I am honored to present to you today graduates from our Bachelor of Business Administration, Sustainability and International Business program. Zain Abbas. Karen Buyan Rodriguez. Royal Roads University Chancellor's Award. Chi Kwan Agnes Chung. Mukul Deepak Dev. Jin Fang. Stephen Michael Pentazopoulos. Royal Roads University Founders Award. Kaspers Karl Pavasars. Jeffrey Anulak Philavong, TD, Environmental Sustainability Scholarship. Megan Jeannie Lisa Wanak, Royal Roads University Entrance Award and Irving K. Barber One World Scholarship. Bijin Jian, Gaozhen Wei She, Song Yi Zhang, Shushan Shu, Jinru Yang, Si Wan Yin, Wan Shi Zhang, Zijia Chen, Yixian Zhang, Yukun Shi, Stark Wu, I'm honored to present to you today graduates from our Bachelor of Commerce in Entrepreneurial Management program. Congratulations. Thank you. Ryan James Aldred. Adil Ahmed Auda Al-Siri. Janine Don Balangal, President's Scholar Award. Sina Banki. Nathan John Bogia. Jennifer Lisa Brandon. Lauren Jacqueline Cowles. Jason Thomas D'Angelo. Renata Ando de Freitas. Zoe Adelina Joy Donato. Catherine Marie Fleming. Wade Foster Haley. Christine Nicole Hiles. Kinshire King. Dragana Kojer. Darren George Crivoshain. Peya Liu. Joshua James Lust. Jennifer Lynn McGillivray, Royal Roads University Founders Award. Lisa Joanne McKay. Jake Stewart Woolner Martin. Todd Allen McKay. Nam Vu Nguyen. Lindsay Colleen Petit. Catherine Leafy Sean. I am honored to present to you today graduates from our Graduate Certificate in Executive Coaching program. Sandra Louise Wallachuk. Michelle Dawn Buchanan. Christy Dawn Cote. Congratulations. Ian Edward Hamilton. Congratulations. Sandra Deneen Harrison. Paul Emile Lemereau. Congratulations. Olga Gina Manzoni. Congratulations. Anne Marie Renault. Kathleen Mary Stanford. Congratulations. Nikki Tran. Congratulations. Nancy Ann Trott. Christopher Douglas Hutchison. Congratulations. Lori Ann Bourne. I'm honored to present to you today graduates from our Graduate Certificate in Project Management program. Dancaster Aliu. Farron Rochelle Charlie. Brian Roland Gay.
Congratulations.
Nicholas Odiwar Orango. Congratulations to everyone. Please give yourself a hand.
Now, Royal Roads University is proud to sit on a National Historic Site that offers such a beautiful and unique setting for our students while they are studying on campus. Today, we would like to share with you a visual souvenir to remind you of the time you spent with us on this site.
Hey, there's a lot of happy faces in those pictures. Well, you made it. And you deservingly received the credentials and the recognition today to acknowledge your journey, your education. And you join a community of over 26,000 alumni in 60 different countries around the world. You've made some connections today. They will be the basis for friendships and professional relationships from here going forward. And I encourage you to keep in contact with your colleagues, the people you studied with, the faculty and staff that you worked with, and stay connected and let us know how you're doing, and we'll try to keep you in touch with how things progress at Royal Roads. I hope you feel the pride of the experience that you've had being part of this educational journey. Today we heard from two people we propose to you as being models of graduates of Royal Roads. Dr. Nina Chappell talking about her experience and how she acquired her interest in gerontology and the passion that she had with respect to that, and some very careful and well-thought advice. And Barj, someone who has a successful business career, but is also has a philanthropic legacy and a certain moral compass that he uses to guide his decision-making, something that we can all remember and use in our own lives. So graduates, I guess we challenge you to take what you have learned, and only you know what that is. Take what you've learned and make a difference in society. Use your knowledge and your skills that you've acquired to assume the leadership roles in your community and your chosen careers. Can I ask you to stand, graduates, again? Would you please rise? I would ask family, friends, faculty, and staff to applaud you for the contribution, the success that you've had. And while you're standing, graduates, could you give a round of applause to those people who supported you while you were studying? Thank you, and congratulations.
So thank you, everyone. That concludes this morning's convocation ceremony. Please remain standing at your seats until the academic platform party has exited the theater. You may rise now.